With the start of Season 9 and a whole new era for Formula E just around the corner, testing gave us a chance to finally see all 22 Gen 3 cars together on track for the first and only time before the opening round in Mexico next month. At the official pre-season test, we saw the new car in the flesh and got a first look at the new teams and drivers set to line up on the grid in the 2022-23 season. We saw the return of familiar faces, some in new surroundings, with plenty of drivers popping up in different garages this season. So, what did we learn? Season 9 has one of the biggest shuffles in lineup we've ever had in Formula E. Only the Jaguar TCS Racing team have kept the same pairing from Season 8. Two drivers who look right at home in new colours are reigning world champion Stoffel Vandoorne, who made the move to the newly formed DS Penske team, and Maximilian Günther, who's joined the Monaco-based Maserati MSG Racing team. Günther was dominant throughout the week, topping the timing sheets in 5 of the 7 sessions in Valencia. And as the lap times got quicker and quicker on the final day, the German posted the fastest time of the test, an impressive 1:25.127, a leap above the quickest time we'd seen set by any Gen 2 car in Valencia, and so early in the Gen 3's life in Formula E.
Yeah, week is going well so far. I think, as I said, we really learned a lot, and we want to keep improving, keep learning. So many changes, we've got more power, we've got more regen on the front now as well. A lot of things to influence there. We've got new tires and just the whole system. So it's a nice challenge. As well, I'm feeling great inside my new team, and I think so far it's going quite well. We still need to do a lot of steps, but the direction is quite good.
Stoffel Vandoorne finished his pre-season preparations very strongly, with a lap just a 10th behind Günther in the final session of the week. The Belgian, who sealed the Season 8 title back in Seoul in August, showed his consistency once again with his pace throughout the week in that all-new DS E10's FE23. The signs are there, as well as the intent that he plans to be among the frontrunners once again, whilst he defends his title in the upcoming season. Meanwhile, his teammate, double champion Jean-Eric Vergne, also showed very promising pace on Friday morning. A strong case has been made that the DS Penske pairing could prove to be a powerful partnership in the upcoming season. And on the subject of French drivers, Norman Nato is another driver enjoying a fresh start in Formula E, returning to the grid with Nissan after a year away. On Thursday's additional test session, the former Rocket Venturi driver put in his strongest performance of the week to top the timesheets.
Well, first of all, it's good to be with everyone, seeing some friends, some old mechanics as well that I work with. And because as you say, private testing, you're by yourself, fighting the lap time, fighting to find some new improvement, but you don't really know where you are compared to the others. So it's good to be here and to set some lap time and basically to try to improve and see what's your weakness and where basically you have to do better the next day. So that's what we are trying to do day by day, and so far we are making progress. So it's good to end up the day as we did today. Last night already was quite positive, and we have one more day tomorrow, which is going to be really important because it's the last one before Mexico.
Moving on to the rookies, Neon McLaren driver Jake Hughes has taken little time to settle into life in Formula E, showing promising pace throughout the test sessions. He'll be racing alongside the experienced and pacey René Rast. By the end of testing, Hughes had only dropped out of the top 10 once, a great start and confidence booster ahead of his debut race in Mexico on the 14th of January.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, probably including myself, would say that it's one of the strongest championships in the world, if not the strongest in terms of depth. We have 22 cars on the grid, probably 22 cars and drivers that can win a race. And I think you see that in the racing. It's very close, the cars can follow very, very close together. The teams are very good at maximising their package that they have, and it's all in the detail. So for me, being a rookie, it's obviously going to be a challenge. But like I said, I have a really good team behind me, so it's going to be an adventure, but I'm confident that it'll be a positive one.
Oliver Rowland kick-started his second season at Mahindra Racing with a strong showing too, the British driver leading the way for the majority of the final session of the week. He'll be lining up beside the hugely experienced Lucas di Grassi for Season 9 as Mahindra embark upon a new era in the championship. The Gen 3 arrived in Valencia with the teams, drivers and fans alike all excited to see the world's fastest, lightest and most efficient single-seater electric race car in the flesh. As the conditions improved throughout the week and teams and drivers were able to get a better feel for the new machinery, lap times fell rapidly, and 5 drivers delivered times over half a second faster than any Gen 2 car was able to set at a Valencia test session. It's a huge generational leap in tech, up to 100 kilowatt more power, 2 powertrains, a huge advancement in regen braking and energy recuperation, new tyres, no rear brakes, the list goes on. There's still plenty of scope for improvement, and the teams will be using the data gathered during testing to make all important tweaks before Mexico. And this is just the start. The drivers were clearly excited about the potential of the Gen 3.
The car itself is very quick, especially when you go on a 350 kilowatt power lap, then the car is very quick.
Yeah, the Gen 3 car is quite different to Gen 2. It's definitely got a lot more power, but I would say especially the tires, they feel quite different in terms of the handling, the operating window.
A very efficient car. You know, 30% of the energy that we're going to consume in a race is going to be produced by us inside the car, by the car.
A lighter car, more power, and also different tires. So driving the car is very different. So we're going to start really from scratch.
It's a 4-wheel drive car, so we have regen at the front. The motor at the rear has much more power, 100 kilowatt more.
With every run that we do here in Valencia during these 3 days, we discover new things, and we learn more about the car, and we see where we can extract performance.
It's always better not to draw too many conclusions from testing, as it is exactly that, testing. But it does offer a good opportunity to see how teams and drivers are starting to match up with one-lap pace, and it's the 2 DS Penske powered teams who left Valencia the most confident. Over 5,000 laps were completed across the 22 cars, almost enough mileage to get us from Valencia to Mexico City and back. Maserati MSG Racing and DS Penske were the teams that saw consistent speed and reliability, and when it comes down to one-lap pace, Maximilian Günther has set himself up as the driver to beat, if his testing times are anything to go by. What happens now is a huge effort for teams to apply all of the data and learnings from testing and improve the cars ahead of the Gen 3 and season opener in Mexico City. And with an all-new car, new race locations and many unknowns, all the signs are pointing towards it having the potential to be the best season and era of Formula E yet.